Hey guys, welcome to Actor Talks. I have another guest today, and this is the lovely Orhun Timur. He is from Turkey, y'all. So we got an international actor on our channel today, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have so many questions about that. So, but first I want, like I said, introduce him. He is a comedian, he is a filmmaker, and an actor. So he has a lot of moving parts in his endeavors to pursue the industry. And then I also met him at Playhouse West. So like I said, I know I'm interviewing a lot of Playhouse West people, but you know, I'm gravitating towards a lot of amazing people.
So. You can't just grab actors from coffee shops.
I can. Hey, you never know.
If they're creeps.
If they're creeps, then yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Anyways, so let's jump right into our interview with you, Orhun. So tell us about how was it moving to Los Angeles or moving to the United States from Turkey, and what inspired you to move from, you know, your home, your country to here?
Well, I started acting in middle school, and I started writing stuff, and we always did it in English, and in high school too. So it's sort of, I always kept watching American movies.
Yeah.
I sort of, because it's like our films are great back home, like they're very personal, you know. But here it's like deals with more universal stuff and has like very different kind of styles, you know.
Okay. So you're talking about the film shots, or just like the theme and the message behind the movie?
Yeah, like everything, because there's just so many different, like for example, like Italian Americans make certain types of movies, you know, and because of their culture, and then like there's different types of comedies. With us, it was more like a close-knit group that made these great films. And they were like, and then that was gone. Like it was like, that was like kind of the golden years that I was born in.
Okay, so you moved to the United States to kind of capture the essence of the way the filming is done in America?
And I thought those old movies I watched that were like the classics, like they had, like, because they didn't have genre really, they were like comedy and drama, you didn't know what.
It was like a blend, it's like a blend of different genres,
It's more like, yeah, exactly. And it was very theatrical, and I don't know, I found a lot of value in that, and I guess since we were like more for closed market, I wanted to get that kind of essence out there or something.
Okay, cool. So it's like you bring a unique spin on it. If you're applying some of your Turkish films, you know, the way it was developed and created, you're bringing that to America and making it your own. So that's an interesting take on that. Okay. And so how did you? So did you start doing film, or did you start as an actor? Or which one came first, comedian, actor, or film?
I started acting like when I was very young.
Okay, so that came first.
11 or 12 or something.
Okay.
And we went like around the country, we went to Germany, we did like a bunch of festivals and
For
stuff.
theater, or what is
for
this?
Theater.
Okay.
We had a theater guy, he was like sort of very eccentric, and he liked traveling to like sort of third world-ish countries and sort of bringing
life and stories and happiness.
No, he would bring like theater there, like in his own format, and he would write with you, and then you would go out there. And you know, he was interesting. He went to Mozambique, then he went to China. He created new formats.
And so you went along with this guy. You went along as a performer.
Yeah, he was our drama teacher. So I got in. I played this dog in one of the things.
Oh, you played a dog? What were your lines? What?
Yeah, like literally. I mean,
that's literally your line.
And I guess I did well, and he put me in bigger stuff.
Okay. That's cool. Okay, so you started acting.
You gotta dog your way in sometimes.
Oh my god, here we go, dog your way in. I love the pun. So let's talk about.
I don't even know what that meant really.
You don't know what that meant? You went for it.
It just sounded sleazy, so I said it.
It worked. Okay, so tell us about your journey in the filmmaking. Like, how did that come to be? Like, are you most passionate about film? What specifically are you passionate about when it comes to filmmaking?
Honestly, with filmmaking, like I can tell you, I watch these directors and I want to do vision and stuff. You know what I like? I just like being in charge of a crew and just you know, you start making jokes, everybody's like tense at first,
Yeah.
but then you start being inappropriate and
Oh my God.
funny, and then they get inappropriate, and
So
then
you like break that wall
that's what I
down.
really
You
like.
break that
The
wall
whole
down.
film is like a scheme so I can have that, you know?
Oh my gosh! So this
A little
is
bit, a
so
little
that's the
bit like
byproduct. The byproduct
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
film. The
No, that's
experience
not
of
what I'm
the
saying,
crew.
but sometimes
But
it feels
yeah,
that way.
yeah, and
Of course,
layman's
it's the
terms.
film like cinema.
Yes, of course. Okay, that's interesting. I love that take on that. And so tell us about your stand-up. Tell us about your jokes. Are they? I know, like I said, in acting, how does that translate into comedy?
You know, it's crazy because some of my favorite bits I've done, I think, were like bits I did. Like I'm still kind of like me, but like in character, like taking like a little part of me, like the part of me that's like that actually couldn't exist in society as a normal person. Take that person and then sort of go there with that. And so acting helps with that because you know if you sort of like the technique we use, you really dwell into what like a person is and why he's doing that and like going fresh into it and really committing yourself. But it's like if you don't do that, then you'll be playing an idea, and if they see you, like if you're doing, for example, risky material, which I don't know,
that's all you do, risky material.
No, not all, but like too much.
I need to go watch them.
Too much of anything, too much. But you really gotta commit because if you're like ashamed of it, you're dead. Or you're dead.
You gotta have like a level of confidence.
Or if you're going horrible, you gotta like have blood on your face or something. Like you gotta really be in that.
You gotta really sell it.
So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So tell us, how has Playhouse West been like transformational in your journey as an actor? Because I know I talked a lot about your filmmaking and stand-up, but I really want to get from your actor's standpoint, like how that's been for you.
I think before that I had learned a lot more about like performance, like this I have to do this here, so how can I get there? But not like more moment to moment or listening to the other person. Like it taught me how to listen.
Wow.
Even my social life a little bit. Like,
it
taught me
blending
to. It sort of got me into thinking like Pavlov's dog or something. It got me into thinking like, oh, you've been talking for a long time right now. Maybe be silent.
Yeah. Listen 80%, talk 20%. Well, good. Of course, I feel like you definitely should be applying the listening and the talking. Just to throw that out there, throw a little dig in there. Okay, awesome. And so I really want to know just a little bit more about your experience in Turkey, just because you're from a different country and there's different culture and there's just so much that's wrapped up in who you are that's different from the American, lifestyle and pursuit in terms of acting. So tell us a little bit more about your journey as an actor in Turkey, and how does that stand aside with your American experience?
Oh, that's different because I came here when I was 19, so the acting I did there was mostly for just like child stuff, like more
so
like when I was younger,
But in terms of the technique and like just your learning, was it just kind of like?
Oh, it was more of we split into sections, which we do at Playhouse West, but then what we do with sections was completely different. We would just say, oh, this is the kind of emotion I'm going through. So it was more of like a choreographed dance than like a living it out kind of situation. Well, that's how it has to be. Yeah. How can you how can you tell like they play like an abortion scene and then and then he's gonna understand he has to be like, okay, be sad, right? Because that's okay. He's doing calculus later,
Right. Okay. Like I said, I want to get an essence of like how it was in Turkey versus how it is in America.
But it was like I went to a lot of theater in Turkish, and there's it's amazing. It's booming right now.
Okay.
You can find one theater that's not full capacity, even the small shows.
Okay.
Like my brother acts.
Okay.
He plays sometimes.
Ooh, we got an acting family there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Performing family. Performing. Not everybody acts.
Okay, that's true.
But everybody's performing somewhere.
Was that a dig or something?
No. Everybody as in everybody is definitely saying whatever the hell comes to their mouth, but not everybody's actually pursuing it as a career.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Cool. Okay. So, tell us the struggle that you're going through. Something that maybe you are still working through right now, or maybe you've already overcame that struggle. But something that you can share to kind of show us, hey, we're all struggling. We're all in this journey together.
That's very interesting. Oh wow, that's a very loaded question.
And it's vulnerable, like, you know, being vulnerable too, talking about like a struggle that you're experiencing. It doesn't have to be like in depth, like I'm, you know, something really serious, but it's something maybe you just a hiccup that you're trying to get over.
I think it is like the idea that, you know how, like for example, when I decided to do stand up like a few years ago, and it took me like 4 months to start. And when I started, I was like, wait, why did it take me 4 months to start this?
Yeah, you're great, right?
Yeah, no, it's not just great. It's like, this is not a big deal at all.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, who cares?
Yeah, it felt like a tall order, but
See,
really.
But that's what I learned, is that if you wait till it's like perfect, like, oh, I feel great now, this is the time to do it, like, you won't do it ever.
Yeah.
It's like you will never do it.
Perfectionism.
Like that, oh, right now I don't feel like sitting. Well, that script isn't gonna write itself.
Yeah, so true. So true. I love that. That's a really good struggle that I'm sure that all actors can relate to. Like, you can't wait for your career to come and lay itself in your lap. You know, you have to get up and work for it. So even though it might be muddy and it may not be what you want, you have to still push yourself and get out of your comfort zone in order to make
it's
something
like talent is like the engine, right?
Yeah.
But like you still need the thing to start.
Yeah, you need the key. You gotta turn that ignition, you know? I love that. That's a really good analogy. Awesome.
That analogy won't make sense in 20 years because it's just all
that is true. That is so true. But for right now, we all get it, and we're really thankful for that analogy. And so, lastly, what's a tip? What's a piece of advice that you can share with the people who are listening, as actor to actor, having a moment where you can share just something that you learned? I mean, of course, you gave us that amazing golden nugget, but just other advice or tips that you can share with the people who are pursuing this dream as well.
Well, I think in general, not just in acting, anything that you pursue where you're like, oh, I have to do it or I'll be miserable. Anything you do that, it'll run away from you. That's what
it'll run away, as in like.
It'll take longer. Like if you rush something, if you rush anything, it'll actually take longer than if you actually just went with it.
Oh, so your goal is to be like, if there's something that you want to pursue in life, pursue it, but don't get too caught up in it, because if you do, then it'll gravitate.
No, like don't expect it. Like,
don't expect
like
it.
don't be like, okay, I set a deadline, so you know, like that song, the Door song, like we want the world and we want it now. Like want it later.
So true. Want it later?
Like don't expect it, right? Like
don't expect. Okay, yeah. So don't get overwhelmed if it's not happening right now, because I feel like we live in a society where it's like, you know, we want it now, instant gratification type of a thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like this is the pursuit, so it's going to be we're in this for the long haul. So expect that it's going to take some time, and don't beat yourself up about it. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah. So awesome.
But that's you really cleaned it up.
I cleaned that up. You
just made it cohesive to human beings, so they can listen and that's how you do it.
That's a lot of hammer. Okay. Orhun, thank you so much for coming on my channel. Thank you for your words of wisdom and just telling us a little bit about your journey. Where can we find you on social media or anything like
Instagram.
that? Instagram.
Orhun Timur. ORHUNTIMUR.
Oh wait, is there like an underscore, or is it all one word? All together? Or is there any?
Well, if you write it, it'll come. So
that's true.
Who else is named me?
That's true. I mean, you do have a unique name. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I'm just going, you know me better than myself.
I thought you did. So you do have underscore.
I did.
See, look at that. Like, that memory though.
Can I carry you in my back pocket so I can practice you and have to be responsible?
Yes. No. Okay. I'm not gonna be anyone's secretary. I'm my own secretary. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to be on this interview, make sure you message me on Instagram. And other than that, that's a wrap. All right, bye for now.